The House on Pine Street. Well, this is a small film review for it, and only because I was impressed with the different ending that we weren't expecting. So, here we go. And welcome to the Brac Shop. This is the platform for the esoteric, which includes the paranormal, the spiritual, and the unexplained. And I'm Tom from the shop. So welcome to another episode. And I'm reviewing The House on Pine Street. Now, it's not a new film. It's been out for quite a while, actually, but it got my attention. And no spoilers, but I will put it out there that it's not the best film, in my opinion. Now, I have had a look around. I've done a little bit of research, and there's been a wide spectrum of reviews. Some really loving it, some really finding it frightening, and some people saying it's really bad. So it's about an average range. Now, I found The House on Pine Street on Amazon Prime, so you can view it, and I'm sure you can actually see it on other platforms. And I'm not sponsored by the film or Amazon Prime, and I'm just doing this review because the whole idea fascinated me, and you'll have to watch it because, as I said, I don't do spoilers. And basically, The House on Pine Street is the couple, which is Luke and Jennifer. Luke played by Taylor Bottles and Jennifer by Emily Goss, who is pregnant, quite pregnant. I believe I read she's about 7 months pregnant. And they leave Chicago to move to Kansas to get away from it all, just so they can get away from the hustle and bustle and relax and build their family life. And so they find this really great bargain of a house, this house on Pine Street. And of course, things start happening. It always seems to happen to Emily. Emily seems to see it all. And things are happening in the upstairs bedroom. And things evolve until we find out, like all horror movies, the outcome of the story. The film is an independent budget film. And that's not to say that it's bad, because I've seen some really good budget films that have been fantastic. And sometimes it's actually made them special that they were shot on a budget, because they had to make things work with very little. And so I'm not judging the film on that, but I'm just letting you know that it's a budget film and independently done. Some people have written reviews that they've noticed it and probably didn't appreciate it so much because of that, but I didn't have a problem with that. And apparently they raised a lot of the money with kickstarting projects, and they raised about $18,000 to make this film. So that's pretty much of a good budget, and it was filmed in 19 days. Now, I don't know how much is publicity, but at the time they did say that the house they used for the filming, strange things did happen in the house as well. Apparently the house does date back to 1840, so lots of things could have happened. But the film just sort of fails. As I said, some people have really loved it and found it funny. But I found if you can get through the first half, it's just so slow going. Lots of frightened, scared looks from the lead actress, Emily Goss. The actors are reputable performers. They seem to have done quite a few things. They've studied at different places, and of course, since the film, they have done a lot more films. But you sort of like wonder about their performances. As Betty Davis said, an actor is good as their director. And it's always a bit hard when you're watching a film and watching someone's performance, whether it's the actor's decision or something the director has told them to do. So it's really quite, you really can't be sure about a performance. But I found with The House on Pine Street, Emily Goss, who plays Jennifer, the main lead, she's always got this stare and look of fright, which makes you wonder whether she's really there in mind. But then again, that could be the whole idea of the film. But then again, you have Luke, played by Taylor Bottles, who is actually quite reasonably good. In fact, they're all really quite good. Even Kathy Barnett, who plays the mother, or Luke's mother-in-law. So, and you can't really quite help wondering whether the film is going to have a twist, in that there's nothing really paranormal and it just becomes like a send someone crazy sort of film, like Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte. But there is tones of Rosemary's Baby. Now, as I mentioned, the first half is quite slow, and you sort of like wonder why these things come into the storyline, because it doesn't move the story around. It's basically on the same pace all the way through until about halfway, and that's when things start coming up. But I think by then it could be too late for some people. Some people may have turned off. But with modern technology, and if you're watching it on your devices or your TV, you can always fast forward. But saying that, which I'm sure is not the way the director wants it, it does start to take shape halfway through. Things start to happen, you start watching and starting getting involved. And what really got me about this film was the ending. There is basically an explanation, and which actually turned my whole idea around. Now, I've heard similar things of paranormal things happening, and it's not always ghosts or spirits. So without any spoilers, I'll leave it at that and let you watch it. But I thought the change of why these things were happening was quite fascinating, which also ties in with manifesting, the law of attraction, wanting things to happen. So, and that also could lead to a whole wider subject, but staying on the film, just this explanation for ending impressed me. And that's why I'm doing the review. So it's not the best film I've seen. As I said, some people have found it frightening. I wasn't really frightened. Maybe I've seen quite a lot of horror films now, and I did watch it with the light on. But it's just a good for a general watch to have on in the background. And you may be frightened, but I hope you get quite impressed with the ending. Well, I hope the ending gets you thinking a bit beyond the usual that we think of spirits and ghosts. So on that note, if you've enjoyed this episode, why don't you press the like button? It'll help the channel, help to grow, help to get it out there. And if you haven't subscribed as yet, please subscribe and click the bell and the notification button so you'll always get my videos. And also, if you've liked it, why don't you buy me a drink? The links are below, and there's also a few affiliate links there, like this Psychic Tree, the UK's #1 online spiritual shop. And they're very reasonably priced, very reasonable worldwide shipping, and on your first order you do get 10% off. So have a look, and have a look at our other links down there as well. Now, if you have seen The House on Pine Street, write your comments below and tell me what you think. Do you agree with me, or do you think it really was frightening and a really good film? I could be wrong, but then again, there are no right or wrong answers. I like to think it's just different perception on things. So do please write a comment and let me know, and maybe share the video and tell your friends so they can actually have a think about it as well. So until next time, stay well and happy. Well and happy because if you're well, you're good in mind, body and soul. And if you're happy, your vibration rises, which makes it better for you to attract the things that you want. So until then, until next time, stay well and happy. And hopefully you'll be back here soon.